In verse number 8, which is part of this book by this Guru, we are seeing a bit of the Bhagavad Gita philosophy and uh, about the teachings of this particular Guru, Nitya Chaitanya Yati. So, he says here in this verse 8 that enjoying the 5 fruits like beauty mounted on a foul smelling gun, evasively flying back and forth, are 5 birds. So, having brought them down through an inversion, that radiant inner awareness should fill one's entire being. So there's knowledge, there's awareness, there's consciousness, and also the unconscious. All of these are inadequate terms that are referring to the self. Another expression for the same is the cosmos. So the human organism is like a mysterious link which is between the physical universe and the almost incomprehensible absolute being. So at the core of each organization, there is this experiencing of a consciousness which, like Janus, the double-headed Roman god, is facing 2 opposite directions. So one faces, say, the world of objects, and the other will face a world of consciousness. So sometimes it enters into the dark fold of the unconscious, and on rare occasions it allows a penetration into pure transcendence. So in the previous verse, the ideal possibility of merging with transcendence after having attained a full comprehension of the secret of the manifestation of the immanent was given. So to most people, this is a very difficult feat to accomplish. As an alternative to the achieving of a realization by one's own true comprehension, it was suggested that the aspirant could place him or herself in the service of a realized contemplative who is ever awake to the secret of the sacred syllable Om. In other words, getting into what is a bipolar relationship with an absolutist preceptor. So it's very difficult to get into a harmonious relationship with a true Guru. One aspect of the Guru belongs to his physical self, his traditional grooming, the personal idiosyncrasies which make him unique. So it is both impossible and to a great extent it is unnecessary, it's even harmful to get into that stratum of his life. All of these embellishments are only like the engravings on a certain container of wisdom, which can be made of something rugged and as worthless as a lump of pig iron, or exquisitely charming as a very fragile crystal. So many people waste their whole lives either on the difficult task of maintaining beliefs and trust in a projected value of the worthless alloy of the container, or in infatuation of the crystalline finish of the engraved receptacle. So the other aspect of the Guru is where the he or the she in that person is effaced, and the consciousness that animates the Guru's psychophysical organism is one with the indiscernible and the unnameable, where he has no uniqueness. Without undergoing a civic test of the social ego, one cannot discover the transcendent ego. So in the present verse, our attention is drawn to the distractions that are offered to the outward looking face of the socially structured ego. So we live in a consumer society where an active campaign to catch the attention of any one of or all of our senses is going on all the time. So pain, pleasure, all of these are intimately connected with sensory agitations. They are also symmetrically coupled with two other mental states, the sense of gratification, the sense of guilt as well. So, one of the major items of the prayers of people belonging to every religion is the invoking of help to avoid temptation. So, both the hookers outside, the pleasure seekers inside, all of them are adept in playing these wild games of various kinds of cover up devices of manipulation and ingenious designs of evasion and elusiveness. So, Guru compares the pleasure seeking senses to five birds that are very cunning in the manner in which they gratify their desires. So, they are depicted as living on the tree of life. We are mortal, hence, the tree on which they rest hides, it enjoys the fruit of their desires. All of that is like a snare which can expose them to death at any time. So, this verse contains a plethora of metaphors. A student must separate each anthology from the rest to know its full implication. It is a verse for deep reflection. So, we have seen the analogy of the sense objects as fruits and of the sense organs as birds. So, we have seen the analogy of the tree of life as a snare. The Guru also equates this tree to a foul smelling gun. So, like a gun, our body has a hollow in it. The sulphurous smell of the body is well known to everybody. One needs only rub his own skin to get the smell of gunpowder, the causes of death also. This stockpiles in our body, and that can defeat any arsenal. So that is going to abolish all games of life. Another analogy that's implied in the verse is that of a lotus flower. So its stalk is hollow like the barrel of a gun. The bulb of the lotus is buried in dirt. It lives in stagnant pools. The flower, however, is above water and it opens up to the bright sun. Why? Because it has attractive petals. The stamen is rich and the flowers is rich with pollen. The stamen is rich with pollen and the flower has honey in it. So it is of great attraction to bees, flowers, artists, poets, yogis, according to the poets also, even to the sun. So although its source is something as lowly as dirt, its impact on the world is great. Just maybe yet like a little tap will snap the stalk. Thus it will destroy its glory in less than a moment. So all of these anthologies form only this numerator aspect of the ideogram that is presented in this verse. At the denominator, the Guru places the determination of the aspirant as an act of absolute discrimination to act in favor of wisdom. So this aspect is analogically alluded to as a vigil of a hunter who can shoot his arrow of discrimination to bring down this centrally monitored mind to its own denominator base. And this act of discipline is a very uncompromising attitude that's born of an insight into the true meaning of immanence, which implies in it the total value of the transcendent being. So it is like opening a floodgate into the value vision of the absolute that will eventually transform every aspect of both the denominator and the numerator with the joy and also finally the wonder of the absolute. So we come to end of the session. Next we'll do something else maybe next week or even Sunday. So I'll try that out. Bye for now.